Karachi, the world's greatest minds are at work, surprising us by producing copies that are even better than the originals. Then, when was the last time either you heard of or attended an exhibition or an event that promoted and encouraged innovation and creativity in this country? How many institutions do we have that tap into these creative minds? How many local companies also fund ideas from young entrepreneurs to help see the light of day? What is the percent of sales that the domestic private sector in Pakistan invests in R&D? How many PhDs have been hired for applied research? And I could go on and on. Just to give you a small comparison from across the border, and this will really hurt, and this will really hurt. In the past few years, more than 100 R&D centers have been set up in India, which include companies like General Electric, Microsoft, Dun & Bradstreet, etc., etc. 25,000 Indian scientists have returned home in the past 6 months. Last year, 146 patents were filed by the Indians in the United States of America alone. India's 250 universities produce 5,000 PhDs in a year. Tatas have about 300 full-time PhDs working for their engineering group alone. And Unilever, a multinational, has also a similar number employed at their Andheri Research Center in Bombay, all focused behind developing homegrown ideas. And let me share with you a couple of more facts that can put us to even bigger shame. What is the size of, do you know what is the size of India's IT industry? Can someone make a guess? Higher. But what is shocking and devastating is that it is half of Pakistan's total domestic product. Okay? Half of Pakistan's total GDP is the size of India's IT industry. India is the 4th largest producer in the world with global presence of pharma. In our case, it is tragic to see that highly talented, fresh engineering graduates are being forced to take up careers in finance and marketing after undertaking an MBA degree. What a waste of resources. I asked the businessmen and the entrepreneurs sitting in this room, how many marketing dollars on a sustained basis go into funding of homegrown innovation and creativity by their organizations in Pakistan? We know a lot goes into opening new television channels, launching real estate projects, etc., etc. Can we name one innovation that we are proud of? One creative idea that got recognized and implemented? How many patents have our commercial scientists registered? Lately, we have seen ideas 2008 being touted aggressively, but that's for defense purposes only, and that will not provide bread and butter. Where is the ideas 2009 in the field of electronics, engineering, applied science, communication, etc.? Do you know that about 20 to 25 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, Pakistan, Malaysia, and Korea used to export engineering goods close to $5 million each a year? Do you know what's the situation today? We are probably close to maybe $10 million or $15 million or so, or maybe higher, slightly. But the other two have crossed billions of billions of dollars each. Pathetic, isn't it? Last, service-oriented culture. In this new era, manufacturing, while still very important, is taking a back seat. Distribution is becoming high-tech and is no longer a point of differentiation. For the global customer with multiple choices, able and willing to spend, extremely short of time, and yearning for convenience, customer service is becoming a critical part of his or her decision making. Customer service has indeed become the most effective weapon for creating a sustainable competitive edge for marketeers. Meeting or satisfying customers' need is no longer enough. In a global context, this notion is dead and buried. Now it's about exceeding customer expectations. It's about having made the next sale before the customer leaves you. It's about walking the extra mile. Customer service, therefore, now has a new meaning. It's about creating a service culture. I ask, are we as a nation service-oriented? There is definitely a culture, okay? A VIP culture. The VIP culture had disappeared for a while, but has resurfaced again. Those who are privileged and well-connected buy their way to obtain services, and the rest play to Allah. While we are excellent as hosts at our homes, but we shy away from displaying the same hospitality in public places. How many children are encouraged by their parents to pursue a career in the hospitality industry? As employers, what premium do we place on an MBA in hotel management? How many new general managers has our hotel industry produced in the recent past? By and large, the same old faces are taking rounds. To be a restaurateur or a hotelier is generally looked down upon. In our own industry and organization, it is embarrassing to note that there are only a couple of names from Pakistan who have acquired international recognition. However, on the positive side, and no doubt, the finance service industry in Pakistan has taken the lead in establishing new levels of service, but again led by multinationals. Thus, overall creation of a service culture remains an elusive dream in Pakistan. Only a couple of hours away, friends, from us is a place called Dubai, a true model of a modern state, having embraced all aspects of globalization in its entirety. Guess who is running Dubai these days? Ordinary people from our neighboring countries, lalas as we call them. We don't mind losing the World Cup as long as we beat them in cricket, and which we did and therefore conquered Kashmir. What a psyche. These lalas are busy acquiring all the necessary skills to compete in this era of globalization and are using Dubai as a launching platform to move into the mainstream markets around the world. 21st century may belong to them. It is shameful to note that high quality basmati rice imported from Pakistan by Indians is sold in the supermarkets under Indian brand names. Our world famous mangoes are non-existent in supermarkets in Dubai. I could go on, but the point is made. And guess with whose blood, sweat and toil has Dubai been made and built? Whose pioneering efforts laid the foundation of this modern state? And if I ask you to answer this question, you will say, yes, we know. We know the answer and you will be right. Now let me tell you why you are right. From the Air Force, the airline to the financial institutions, from the media to the hospitality industry, and from horticulture to big business, each one of them owes its inception to the entrepreneurial zeal of Pakistanis. Ask any local bigwig in Dubai from the earlier generation, in which bank did all of them keep their account? 9 out of 10 would name only one bank, and that is United Bank. Except for the finance sector, where we Pakistanis still maintain